like to welcome everybody to another edition of Cooking Well at Mercy, and it's Mercy Hospital in South Buffalo. And my name is Christopher Damiani. I'm the executive chef here at Mercy, and today we've invited Karen Calandra back to join us, and we're going to be making some nice food today. But Karen is a registered nurse and a certified holistic cooking coach, and she's going to help us along with some of the nutritional things about our recipe today. And today we are going to do a gluten-free pizza. Karen, tell me something about this recipe.
Well, thanks for having me back again. Yes, we're going to be making a gluten-free pizza with cauliflower, a cauliflower pizza crust. And you know, it's not just for people who need to be gluten-free or have celiac disease. We are trying to get people to eat a lot more vegetables and fruits on a regular basis instead of processed food and sugar, because sugar really does cause inflammation. It's a precursor to all disease. So let's get started with our cauliflower. It's got vitamin K, it's got vitamin C, it is an anti-cancer vegetable like many of the other ones. So,
and one thing, as a chef, everybody likes to come down to the cafeteria and grab pizza. And the one thing we never have is gluten-free pizza. So for me to explore this today is exciting. And we're going to look at our standpoint when we begin any recipe. And we've got our mise en place together, and that's French for everything in its place. So we want everything in its place so that it goes fast and easy and quick. And this recipe at home should take you about a half an hour. So once I begin, as always, keep a close eye on me because my hands move fast and I do a lot of quick tricks. And we're going to start out with our tools. I have a burner to sweat the cauliflower. I've got a burner for the peppers and onions. And also, over here, you can't see it, is my pizza oven. And we've set our pizza oven to 400 degrees, and we're going to put our dough in that pizza oven once Karen shapes it. This is a very fast, easy recipe, and I was shocked when I walked myself through it because I'm not a person who's affected by gluten-free, but I hear about it all the time, and I try and make things that people are going to enjoy and have lots of flavor.
gluten-free is not just a fad these days. People are actually having problems with the gluten that's in the wheat and the rye and the barley. It's been genetically altered, so it actually has more gluten, the wheat does, and so it's been causing problems with people. So it's important to recognize those symptoms and to try and stay gluten-free. You'll find that it's way better and a lot more healthier for you. So thanks for having the gluten-free cauliflower crust with us today.
So, real quick, we're going to take this cauliflower. It's triple washed, and it's, if you look, it's right in the bag real quick, and just watch what I do here. I'm just going to cut it apart, and I open it quickly, and if you can see what I do here, I'm going to take my knife and I'm making an X, and I always push the knife away from me, and then I grab it on both sides and I just push down and I open it up and like all fours. Awesome. And then I take it and I zip down. So real quick, and I break those heads apart, so in case I wanted to serve it as a vegetable on my dinner table, it stays whole and it looks pretty. Now we're going to rice it up a little bit, so we're going to put it in this Vitamix, part of our tools that we brought in, that Karen brought in. And you've probably seen the Vitamix at the fair, and the guy's yelling at you, come on over, because it's healthy for you, it's good for you. But we have one here today. I'll put a little more in there.
Yeah, you can go ahead and put some more in there.
Put it in there, and what I like about it is you really can't make a mistake with it.
I'm going to go high in a minute.
Well, Karen's working on that. And she's grinding it down. She's going to end up with something like that.
And this is what it looks like. It actually looks like rice. See the consistency of that? So you don't want it pureed, you actually want it riced. And then what you're going to do is you're going to saute it for just a little while.
Okay, so now we're going to sweat it real quick. And we don't want to lose any sleep over the little things.
No.
All right, so I have about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. I'm going to swirl it around the pan. It's pure olive oil. We like pure olive oil. Why do we like pure olive oil?
It's got good, healthy heart ingredients to it. You don't want to use canola oil and you don't want to use vegetable oil. Canola oil is highly processed and vegetable oil is just trans fat. So that causes heart disease. We don't want that. So we do want extra virgin olive oil.
It's a good stuff. All right, so when we work our vegetables cook very quick. And one of the mistakes people make is they cook them a little too long. And we're going to watch just how quick this comes to life. So I'm just sweating it, and I'm on medium-high heat. Whenever I cook or do anything with my stove, remember I usually go to medium-high heat. One of the rules of cooking is if I cook on high, I'm going to stand by. I'm not going to leave my stuff when I'm cooking on high. when I cook on low, I can go. So if I'm doing a nice sauce on the stove, or if I'm doing a braise, I'm cooking on low and I can go. But on medium high, it allows me some time to deal with some of the issues that might be happening around me. Now, as I've talked about in my other cooking classes, I've got 3 young boys, and they like to circle me when I cook, and they like to be right in on top of me. And that's okay, but at the same time, I may need to take a break, and I may need to maybe have a glass of wine to calm myself from my children. And is that okay if I have a glass of wine?
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Wine's good for the heart, as long as it's red and it's 4 ounces.
That's it. All right. So if you look, I think we're seeing that now, the steam. And as long as it took for you to tell me the story about my boys, and they are eating like champs, this is done. Now we're going to come back to our recipe. I know everyone got a handout. This is 3 cups of cauliflower. Cauliflower is a vegetable that isn't really eye appealing. It's all white, and it doesn't have a lot of color. But we're going to make it all happen with our other mise en place over there. All right, and we sweated it, and we didn't do a whole lot. I think that took me a whole 2 minutes. Now I'm going to switch with Karen. I'm going to let her come over, and she's going to walk us through the rest of the recipe. So we're going to add half a cup of mozzarella cheese, and that's a Buffalo product, Sorrento. And then I'm going to put a little freshly grated Parmesan cheese. This is the Pecorino Romano. So it's got a little salt content to it, and it's got all those good flavors that we enjoy on our palate. We're going to put a little Italian seasoning. It can be basil, oregano, maybe a touch of thyme, whatever you have in your cupboard. You can buy a blended seasoning, whatever you want, and I'll pour it out in my hand. You can see it there. It's real nice. I'm going to lightly sprinkle it into the bowl. And we're adding flavor. We're building momentum for our dish. We're going to put a splash of garlic powder in there.
You can see how this is coming together like a dough.
Okay, and we're going to add an egg. Here at the hospital, if you look, we only use ultra-pasteurized eggs. And it's something you won't find in your supermarket, but you'll always find it here at Mercy Hospital. And the one reason we do use the ultra-pasteurized egg is for patient safety. And I'm going to give it a little whip around. I'm going to add it right in there. Karen's going to mash it in there. Those eggs are so safe, you can eat it raw in out of it. So I'm adding a little pepper.
The egg is really what holds this together.
It looks good, Karen. I like it. All right, so if you get a quick look, you can see our dough is done. We've got a lightly greased baking sheet. I'm going to set it down. Karen's going to turn that out.
I'm going to make 2 personal ones instead.
2 personal pizzas. I
you
like that.
can either grease the pan, or you can do this on parchment paper. Works either way.
So, just to back up a little bit here, traditionally we think of a dough as being yeast driven. It rises, and we have to leaven it. So where this recipe accelerates is the fact that I don't have to wait 2.5 hours now. So when I throw my KitchenAid in the counter at home and I mix up my oil, my salt, my flour, my yeast, I have to wait another 2 hours probably before that dough is ready to go. These doughs are ready to go now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these doughs, and Karen's going to sprinkle parsley on top of the doughs. So we're seasoning the dough, and we're adding more flavor to it right now. And I want you to put a little pepper on there too. Just a little bit of pepper. All right. And then we're going to reach around and grab that grapeseed oil. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to spray it just gently with grapeseed oil. This is going to add a really nice texture and finish to our dough. And now we're going to head over to our oven. Here at Mercy, we use an impeller at home. You'll want to have your oven on 400. We're going to bake this for 15 minutes. All right. So our pizza crust came out beautiful. It's got some caramelization. It's got some nice color to it. I think everyone can see that. If you look around, our parsley's on top, and a little salt and pepper we added there, and a little bit of our grapeseed oil, and it gives it a wonderful look. Remember, we eat with our eyes, so it's got to look good. So that's our pizza crust. Remember, we use a little grapeseed oil on it. And now we're going to sweat our peppers and onions. And while I'm doing that, I always swirl gently. I always use about the size of a quarter of olive oil. That tells me that I have a teaspoon. If I go to a $1/2, I've got a tablespoon. It's a good way to measure the olive oil in the pan. We've got some wonderful peppers and onions. And we're going to do peppers Some red onion.
You always want a
While I'm doing
wonderful rainbow full of colors when you do your vegetables.
If you want to jump your vegetables, and it's a simple process, you should have a curved pan. I'm going to let Karen do it right now to show you how simple it is. One of the things we do is we just want to gently rock the vegetables back and forth. Kind of want to get them to this side of the pan. You want to pull straight back, and it lets them jump. And we're jumping them, and we're using high heat on those vegetables. And I talked about cook on high, you stand by, and it's not going to take long. Karen, give it a shot.
Actually, I tried this at home and I didn't do a good job.
Give it a shot. You'll be fine. Just pull straight back. There you go. One more time.
Oh, come on. It's going to go everywhere.
There it is. Beautiful. I love it. That was great. All right. Now we're going to put some pizzas together. Karen's going to start off with a touch of red sauce. And we don't want to put a lot because this is something that we're going to be done with the whole recipe now. We're in the final rush here. I'm going to finish my wine. I'm going to put my table settings down. I'm going to make sure, do the other one too, Karen. You want to do white?
Well, I was going to put tomato on there, but that's fine. Let's do fresh tomatoes.
Stuff. You want to do tomatoes?
Yep, I want to do fresh tomatoes.
You call the ingredients, I'll whip them over to you.
All right.
And pizzas are fun. They're exciting.
Mozzarella cheese.
Some mozzarella. And we finished making this one, we're going to make another one. And we're going to let one of our guests out there, some fresh basil.
Basil, fresh basil is always good.
We got some fresh parsley. Obviously in the summertime we all have gardens, and this is a great recipe in the summertime.
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I knew
in the summertime, because you have a lot of this stuff growing in your gardens. And we've got jalapenos, we've got zucchini, we've got some black olives, some fresh broccoli, mushrooms, some Parmesan cheese. All right?
Yeah, that looks great.
All right. So now that we haven't taken the hospital at code red and started a fire, which is good, I'm going to put these in our oven, and they're very simple. So now you've got nice individual pizzas. If someone at home didn't want pepperoni pizza and they only like white pizza, they'd be accommodated. And you wouldn't have to go through that trouble of calling your pizzeria and ordering that second pizza at a cost of probably another $15. The total cost of the recipe so far, I think you're less than $5 a pizza right now, maybe $4. You've got nice healthy vegetables. You can make salads out the ingredients. You can see how wonderful it looks. So I'm going to throw it in the oven. We're going to cook it off real quick, and we're all going to eat it. We're going to make another one while we're doing that. Okay, we've got one pizza cooking in the oven now, and that's going to be done briefly. We've got a few minutes here. We'd like to see if we have a volunteer out there who maybe want to come up and help us make another pizza. Irene, why don't you come on around and join us with me and Karen up here?
Hi.
All right, and we're going to let Irene design a pizza real quick. Irene, call the ingredients over. We'll pass them over, and while that's happening, I'm going to bring our pizzas out of the oven and cut up some samples so that everyone can try our gluten-free pizza. Remember, it's gluten-free pizza, and it's healthy. Once again, this concludes another edition of Cooking Well at Mercy. I'd like to thank Karen Calandra for coming down and giving me some wonderful pointers and some nutritional information that I often miss as an executive chef. Today we did a gluten-free pizza, and we'd like to wish everyone a wonderful, health, and safe and happy day.
Thank you. Thank you.